Hey friends, have a little quick story for you. Story with real life repercussions, real life realities, but something that I feel could afford to be talked about right now. So the story goes like this. Somebody in their childhood or possibly in their adolescence, very early childhood, or maybe around 8, 7, was abused in a very disgusting way. And when they were abused, trigger warning, using a food item as a tool to do this sexual abuse. The person that did the abuse has a sick obsession and desire with these food items, as well as honestly just being perverted and sick. So, as this person deals with the reality of that happening to them, when you go through something like that, there are going to be certain rejections that you have, right? So after this person went through this experience, they now have an OCD rejection towards that food item because it disgusts them. They may not remember the exact moment in their childhood when that disgusting abuse happened. It's feeling like half emotional, half physical, very molest energy. But I feel like it could vary depending on the person. But now the person just does not like that food item. They don't want to eat that food item. They are disgusted by that food item. The smell of the food item they don't like. And that is just the decision that they've made for their life based off of their sexual trauma and the trauma of their household. They refuse to eat that food item. They don't want that food item in their house. They don't want that food item around them because it makes them feel literally sick and relates to their trauma. So moving forward, this person feels confident to talk about the reality of what happened to them and why they have this OCD issue towards the food item. When they shared that, they shared it to people that they should not have shared it to. So they told some people that they thought may take the information with a grain of salt, but instead the people that they told saw that as a way to tease the person, to make the person feel uncomfortable, and basically make the person break to their will to do whatever they want them to do by knowing their insecurities and using it. So this goes to taking that food item, sneaking behind that person. So when that person leaves, they then sneak into the person's home and rub the food item on their clothes, on their bed, try and get the food item in their food, and do little things to make this person basically lose their mind after trying to speak and clear the reality that some things just aren't for everybody. And so now this continues on, and somebody is in such a hateful, negative place that they are going to others, asking them to use this food item as a as a catchphrase, put it in your music, put it in your songs, put it in your videos, while we also chase this girl around, try and get in her space and you know, make them feel uncomfortable by using what we know they don't like as a way to tease you, as a way to make you feel sick, disgusted, because they don't know how to respect boundaries and respect differences. And so now the story continues. This person now is being forced basically to face their own fears and their own OCD because they cannot control everything. They can't control everything, right? And so it's one of those situations where, as unfair as it is, now somebody is being asked and forced to face this OCD head on. Whether it's like the feelings will not change, right? Like this person will reject this food item for the rest of their life because it connects to a moment of abuse, a moment of disgust, PTSD. It's like when somebody goes through something, it sticks with you for life. Your restrictions are your restrictions. That's just the reality of it. Like there are some things that can be changed, and then there are some things that cannot be changed. And so the reality, you know, that's the reality. But this mean, crude group of people, some of these folks who are aroused by the same item that is disgusting to the other. So there's this kind of back and forth fight of like, oh, like you don't see it how I see it. Like I like that. And instead of just accepting that I like that and I can like that personally, no, I'm going to tease you. I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable because I think I just have control over the whole world. I think I have control over the whole world and I can make you bend to my will. Whatever I want you to do, you will do. And right now it's like, I want to rub this food item in your bed. I want to change things up, right? And so to make you feel so uncomfortable. So, you know, and here we go. The Three of Pentacles in reverse. So ops. Knowing that they're gonna need to hang it up, the world, and sacrifice. It's something that they're gonna have to stop trying to get into somebody's. It's gonna have to stop. It's gonna have to stop. It's gonna have to stop. And so, you know, I feel like there's also lies within this group of people. Not everybody knows why the person wants to avoid the food item. Some people think it's just not that serious, not knowing the depths of why the food item is avoided and disliked, and that it causes somebody, honestly, mental trauma, right? These folks acting like now they're doctors and they know exposure therapy. They think that they know exposure therapy now, right? And so it's like, imagine I'm trying to just think of another example. I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, imagine being buried alive in rice, and then you finally heal enough to talk about it, and a group of people figure that out, and then they start sprinkling rice everywhere you go. And so they've done all of this work to be able to track you, to be able to find you, to know when you're coming, when you're leaving. when you're getting ready to leave the house, so that's when they can get in the house. And then you find rice in your bed, or you smell cooked rice and you don't know where the smell is coming from. And so it's like this continuous action of working to make somebody feel uncomfortable. And then when then thinking it's an injustice that this person needs what they need. This is where it really gets fucked up, of like, this is my healing. Like me, I'm allowed to omit for the sake of my healing. But it's literally like having like 12 Virgos, all of them mad at one item that you won't let go of. And it like angers them so much that I'm just imagining like all those Michaels, like if you saw that video where it's like it's a video game and people are running from Michael Jackson's. And I feel like there's a symbolism there of like just how much of a perfectionist he was. There's this perfectionate. That's interesting. Affectionate, perfectionate. But it's like there's this kind of perfectionism energy of like, oh, well, you don't like this kind of food. That makes you this, that makes you that. How are you going to be perfect to a certain standard if you don't do this, do that, do that? Meanwhile, we don't want you to achieve this standard. Like this group of people, they are ops towards this person. They are ops towards this person. They don't like this person. They don't want to see this person succeed, but they find joy in using sickness. They find joy in using somebody's sickness while trying to label them crazy, label them one way, and then use their own limitations against them. And so this goes to, you know, they've considered sending boxes of this food item to somebody's door. They've considered, you know, there's so many things they've considered and so much magic that they've done to spiritually get it started. And now, mind you, if you were to do some research and see if there are other folks that feel this way, I can guarantee you that they do. I remember, I'm not mentioning the food item right now, but I just feel like I saw a video around the same time that I started kind of picking up this energy about somebody feeling the exact same way. Like just feeling the exact same way. And you know, sometimes it's like when there are certain items that have the shape of like a phallic shape, clearly it relates to sexual trauma. The food item has a phallic shape, so it's not small. They're pretending that it's a small thing. They're pretending it's small, it's not that big of a deal. It is a purposeful act of trying to remind somebody of their rape and of their abuse over and over and over again by playing around with this phallic shaped food item and trying to make somebody uncomfortable, and then trying to act as if, oh, like, you know, that's the only way you're going to lose weight. That's the only way you're going to be small. Then making it about weight and size and shit like that. Like, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? So somebody's getting ready to lose their fucking career over the shit. Something's over. Like, someone's getting ready to lose their career over the shit. Or that it's gonna just come out, like the shit that they're on. For being crazy, for being delusional, for being crazy, for being backwards. And then using folks' insecurities also to turn them against each other. Like they've created a whole, this is just like a small aspect of a bigger situation that still is built up off of pettiness at the core. So it's like this group of people, you know what I mean? And so then they're putting the food item, they're asking people to go into somebody's job holding the food item to make them feel uncomfortable, leaving the food item in the parking garage of this person's job by the elevator, so they have no choice but to walk by it, smell it, see it, watch it rot there. So it's like, this is their energy and they think that it's funny, and then they want to use it as a way to get somebody to make a choice that makes them happy. Oh, eventually they'll run away. Eventually they'll leave their state. Eventually they'll leave. They'll feel like they have no choice but to leave. And that brings them joy. And then often, you know, often rapists work together. Like there's this kind of thing of like, it's a group. But Spirit is saying everything is fine. So for this person, everything is essentially fine. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's like the reality is you physically might not be able to tell that they have come in and done that to your space. So it's really a mind trip. It's this energy of like, you wouldn't really know because they're doing it. They're coming in, they're taking the food item and they're rubbing the food item on things and then leaving. So when you come back, you wouldn't know that they did it, but spiritually you feel betrayed. And spiritually you feel uncomfortable in your space, right? And it's like, that's what they want. They want that as well. And then, and again, it's this thing of acting as if they're doctors, exposure therapy energy. Like, this is how you get over it. You do exposure therapy. But it's like they're doing this and they don't even talk to the person. Like, they literally dislike this person so much. And then, like, are doing this or thinking, yeah. And then it's like, for a narcissist, everything is fine. You know what I'm saying? Everything is fine. So in their mind, they feel successful. And so, you know, this goes into celebrities. I want to let that be known. So I'm feeling like you may end up seeing this item being used in videos, being talked about, kind of being used as little like little subs. And it's like, you may not know the root of why, but expect to possibly see more of this item and wondering like, oh, that's so random. And something I think I'm realizing about just propaganda and kind of like the way music videos and things work, we don't know sometimes like the meaning behind why celebrities say the things they say and do the things that they do. So it's like, sometimes we're thinking, oh, like that's just a random things they chose, so creative. And really it's like they're subbing somebody the whole time. And sometimes I think it's like, we think that that makes them this cool avant-garde artist of like, oh shit, like where did that come from? What made them want to do that? They're subbing somebody that they want to keep down. Yeah. A lot of that avant-garde random shit, you're like, I never really know what they're talking about. They're subbing somebody the entire time. They're subbing somebody else and you have no idea what they've done to this person. And so that's what makes them look so just like, oh, so Aquarius, so higher mind. They're subbing somebody. Yep. So anything else, Spirit? That seems to be all. Nothing else is really coming through. So I think I will leave it there, honey. Peace. All right.